Okay, guys, I've been here a lot recently.
Meteorologist is not that good. Meteorologist is kind of bad. Oh my god, just like Fairly. Just like Night until people said he was starting to be S tier now. Now we have to change our opinions. Meteorologist is S bad tier, F tier even.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're 100% correct. Today, I'm here to discuss to you why she's so bad. You know, this is the anti-guide, how not to play meteorologist, because she's so bad, dude. Okay? We'll tell you how bad she is. Bad, man. She's not good. Very bad. Brr. No, yeah. Go grr. Okay, so starting off, Wendy. She's really good. But people don't see that because the reason why she's so bad, people refuse to learn. Like, watch this, for example, right? This is a basic cloud, right? Gets you from point A to point B, across little boat. Simple as can be. So you can do the other way too. Not hard. See, this is just low, right? This is the low expectations from a meteorologist player. This is the bare minimum. We can do even less here. For example, this. Like, I'm using less bottle, which I have more bottle for other things in the future. It's really simple, you know? A lot of people complain about the durability of the bottle, but I have so much room for everything else. Like, I could have done a bigger wind cloud there, more usage out of it, and then I get a big cloud afterwards, right? People are too uptight about this durability problem when the durability problem has never really existed. Every character has 3 uses of an ability. If you overuse your ability, sure, you can only get 2 out of it. But here's another good example. You know, shout out to all my Emil mains out here. You know, let's do Big Cloud here, right? See? Easy. Oldest trick in the book, right? Everybody knows about this. Everyone should know about this. Well, I don't know if any really keeps up with Emil tech, but anyways, let's go up here. You know, I figured this out yesterday too. You know, actually a couple days ago. But you can do it on 2 clouds with less durability. Boom. That's a full cloud, right? That's a full wind stack right there. See that? You didn't have to waste so much on... And then boom, you get like a 3rd tier cloud, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of usage for these abilities if you just plan out accordingly. You learn the spots, and then you can use what's applicable to them, you know? That's the thing people need to know, right? Is that people are too uptight about this durability problem, and that, like Norton, I guess we're gonna compare Norton to Wendy, it just doesn't work. That's not how this works. If I were to compare a character who has multiple stick usages, we're gonna have a problem. That's the problem. Is that we compare all these different characters who have different varieties in their usage. But let's look at the facts. You will always get 3 usages. You should always prepare to use 3 usages. Sure, that's not written in the contracts of you must do this, but it is really not that hard to get 3 uses of the bottle. You can complain all you want about, well, there shouldn't be a limit. Well, there is. Because if you didn't, then you would have 3 cloud usages every single time, and that's the most obnoxious thing. Let's take it to another map where it's more relevant, Darkwoods. So here we are at Darkwoods, right? One of Wendy's best maps, if not the best map for her. And Treehouse area is the best spot because you could basically use this whole area and there's 0 punishment. Like, 0 punishment whatsoever. I can go side to side. I can make Hunter burn through so much stamina over here. And it makes it unchaseable areas. Right? That was 2 full bottle usages. You can cut down a lot of bottle usage if you really need to with just that. Boom. if you really want to cut it short. Even then, you can do it other areas where you can double back. Over here, that means Hunter has to double back, and if they don't have stamina, they're cooked, right? Wendy just breaks this area. Now, I'm gonna show you Aeroplanist gameplay, just so it's the same effect. Now, Aeroplanist used to do this more consistently until they nerfed the treehouse area because they did a global change for Emil and I think Toy Merchant and Aeroplanist when they were buffing or making Darkwoods work for Hunter, the survivors. Anyways, another thing that I want to point out is that Aeroplanist has a lot more ground speed, so this doesn't really apply to him as much as Emil, where Emil has a lot of air speed. But the general point is that, really, these characters can't do what she can, which what makes her strong. See, like, I'm a bad Aeroplanist, but, you know, you can do that stuff, right? I mean, I overused it because I'm a practice tool and all, but there's a lot of small things you can do here that are really annoying, but you can't do the cool stuff unless you have really tight timings and you are really good at Aeroplanist. Like, I knew for a fact you could do this earlier, but I'm just really bad at it, so don't expect much from my Aeroplanist. But key point is, she has a lot of aerial movement that no other survivor has. The only other character who have this much is Toy Merchant, but Toy Merchant is very restricted. Wendy is the free-flying character in this game. She has the most rawest aerial mobility. The third closest is Aeroplanist, but even then his is limited, and more or less he's better off as a character due to the fact that he can, you know, use the ground more spaciously and can get away from really bad corners and such. But the fact still remains that even without all these qualms, Wendy is just a really good kiter in these kind of situations. Like, it's not always about the total distance, which is what people say to me. I've heard people comparing it to Weeping Clown, which is a stupid comparison because Aeroplanist is a better key one. Because Aeroplanist gets a lot of total distance. Let's make this clear. Good total distance, but he doesn't make good total aerial distance. Not like Wendy. That's the thing that also really bothers me. It's just, you don't need to get total distance every single time. The total distance doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't matter. If I can get from a good location to a good location from a cloud, that takes it more priority than if I wasn't, you know? I need priority here. Key example is fourth stop. If I can get a good spot in fourth stop, who cares about the distance? You know, the only character that can really screw me over in those situations is like Opera and Geisha. Maybe BQ if she puts in a good mirror. Point is, it doesn't matter. People need to just realize that if I have a good spot, going into a good spot, it doesn't matter how much distance I get off of it, because I'm in a good spot. Now, people might ask, well, why aren't you talking Cloud about this video if you're talking about meteorologists being bad? Because I think wind is kind of self-explanatory here. If I'm using wind, it's to pick the hunter back off. It's a good support tool. It can be used for harassing. You know, very, very simple stuff, right? I don't really need to explain why wind is so good. Like, and then also rain. Rain's another one people might bring up. I think rain is the one weak part about her kit because it's just inconsistent. Like, it doesn't really feel like you get the proper value out of rain, and I wish they could just change it a little bit. Maybe make it where if people are in the rain, they get healing increased while it passively heals the person that isn't meteorologist. Unless it does AoE heals. I don't know. The point is, I don't think rain's that good. Wind is a really good get off me tool, and cloud is the best mechanic ability in the game right now. It is really valuable. Good on most maps. To be honest, Wendy doesn't really have any bad things going for her. There's a few things I can name of. Simply, her meta matchups are a little bad, but like at the same time, if we're taking strictly ranked into play here, it doesn't matter. Because once you get to a high enough tier where it's 3 bans for a hunter, even 2 bans, just knock out Goatman and Ivy and you're good. Knock out Hullabaloo and Goatman or Ivy. Any one of those 3, then you're down to 1 character, which could be Ivy, which could be Goatman, which not everyone likes to use, and then you got everyone else. Wendy has pretty much good and decent matchups against pretty much everyone else. She doesn't have any necessarily bad matchups. The only one I can name is Geisha, but even then, the solution is just don't use Cloud. A lot of people forget that. You just don't use Cloud. You can use her win stacks, right? Sure, it's not as consistent, but I mean, it's not like Emil where if Emil gets a really bad matchup, he cannot do anything. Geisha, his worst matchup ever. You just wait as a Geisha for him to dash somewhere, you dash on top of him, he dies. Hermit, same case. This is why Emil is like considered like a B tier for me at least, right now, is that he has a lot of baffling bad matchups that he doesn't really benefit off of. But like Wendy doesn't really have any bad matchups like this. If you find a problem with your Cloud, don't use Cloud. That is as simple as that. If it's a normal neutral matchup where Cloud is viable, you can use Cloud. This is the key point I want to focus on, is that people are really focused on one thing rather than looking at it as a whole. Wendy can cover her own weaknesses super easily. There's not something she can't cover. Rain is good for AoE healing, even though it could be better. I can say that. That's the only thing that should be buffed. Her Wind is a good get-me-off tool, which can be used as harass and support fairly simply, and it doesn't really punish her for it. And Cloud is one of the best mobility tools in the game because it's unrestricted in nature, and there's a lot of tech options. This is apparent. So, takeaway from this video is, if you're gonna talk about a character, please understand the mechanics. If you don't think this explanation is good enough, I couldn't tell you what is. It's a little rambly, it is a little incohesive, but the point is simple. Meteorologist is good because you can use her in a way to make her good. You can mitigate a lot of her issues by just learning her. She's not a very friendly character for new players, sure. There's a few other characters that are like that too, you know? That doesn't take away marks from her. Sure, her Rain isn't useful. Her Cloud can't be useful in all scenarios. That doesn't really knock her down either because you have other ways to compensate for that. She's also a character like Emil who has 0 downsides. There's nothing wrong with picking her. Like, Acro and Antiquarian are the best rescuers, obviously, and they have downsides. Well, downsides don't really matter unless they're very impactful to the character, like Forward would be, or Wildlings can be harmful. Downsides can hurt, but also 0 downsides don't hurt either. So, there's no consequence for picking her. And she's as good as the rest of the top tier rescuers in my opinion. Rescuers, kiters. You know, she's up there in a top 5-6 position. If I were to rate her, I'd rate her as 5th or 6th because the best is Acro, then it's Anti, then it's Fire Investigator, and then afterwards it's between Aeroplanist and Wendy depending on how you're feeling that day. Those are the best kiters in my opinion right now. Wendy is just that good. Against anyone who isn't Goatman or Ivy, you will do well into. Okay? That's the main point I want you to take away. If you take away all these judgments, all these small reasons, you can see that she's better than that. You know what? And if you guys really don't get it, I will show you every Cloud trick you can possibly conceive. okay? Your eyes will be blown by how much I can show you from a cloud video. There's even ones on non-meta maps. There's ways to break the barriers that Netty's put up to counteract these movements, by the way. Yeah, I found this one on Kreeberg, like, as I was recording this video, because I accidentally clicked on Kreeberg, and there's an invisible wall that prevents you to go back in. But you can bypass that super easily. Like I said, this character can be broken and molded into working. You just have to actually try. And that's what I want you guys to do. If not, you can stay ignorant. You can always complain and complain and complain that
This game is survivor-sided. Oh my god, Goldman gets banned every game, but he's so meta. Oh my god.
you could do that all day. But at the end of the day, the game is the game. There should not be any issues with it, how it is. I bid you farewell. Thank you for my rant. Because, you know, after all, you guys forced me to do this. That wasn't funny. I just wanted to laugh.
You never better doubt my brain again. Oh my god. I'm a fucking genius. I know these hunters like the back of my hand. I'm a goddamn genius. I am a goddamn genius. I am a goddamn genius. Never forget it.